Hey there, John Moore here, and I'm here to tell you about my leadership project. It's all about school community. I set out to interview 6 different leaders: 1 teacher, 2 principals, an assistant principal, an assistant superintendent, and a inclusive ed coordinator. I asked each of them the same 3 questions. What is your dream community? What do you do intentionally to create that dream community? And finally, what indicators do you use to know how you're doing in building that community? When talking about their dream community, leaders mentioned 4 big things. First, that it should be student-centered, all about the kids. 2, that it should be teacher-centered, and that to take care of the kids, you got to take care of the people taking care of the kids. That it should be collaborative, that everyone should work together to get things done toward a common goal. And finally, inclusive, that everyone's included in the decision making and the things going on at the school. When I asked leaders what they do intentionally to promote the community they wanted, they said that they would model it. They would model things like being approachable. They would model productive dialogue. They would model asking leading questions. They would model giving people time and information to make well-informed choices, and that they would build leaders from within to help them in their process. And finally, I asked them, how do you know if you're doing a good job? Well, they all said they are data informed. Now, this comes with the quantitative data that you get from provincial tests, from co-created rubrics, from things like the MIPI Star 360. But then you always need to dig further. And that's where the qualitative data comes from. Those conversations you have with staff, the surveys you give to kids and parents. Those things help frame what you're going to do next. So the quantitative data tells you what you need to work on and what you're doing well at, but it's the qualitative stuff that helps you dig deeper in how to make yourself better and keep your team going. So what are my big takeaways that I can use as I develop my leadership practices? Well, I like that idea of distributed leadership. I want to build leaders around me. I want to build that trust, that we can all talk to one another and that we can build this culture together, because no one person builds a culture. You need help. 2, I need it to be collaborative. I want to make things as a team. I need everyone involved. So I've got to make sure that my staff, that my colleagues are ready to have those conversations and that we're ready to help everyone out. Because again, you can't do this alone. Works best as a team. The last thing I want to talk about is feedback. That idea that you should always be checking in on how you're doing, checking your own biases, and getting feedback from a variety of places. You don't just go to the quantitative data. You don't just go to the qualitative data. You don't just go to those people who are seen of as leaders in your school. To get the beat on things, you need to ask a wide variety of people and get your information from a variety of places. This will help you create the whole picture and help you make educated decisions for your school and for your staff to build the culture that you want. It was so nice to get to hear the perspective of so many different people. Their viewpoints all similar and different, and yet they're all successful. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've only got 9% battery left and a Pokestop coming up. So, I'm gonna end this now, see if I can catch me some Pokemon.